Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the MLB DFS slate breakdown. Today, we are going to go over both the early slate and the main slate. For those that just want the main slate, I am going to post that only also on our YouTube. So I'm sorry for those watching live, but I'm going to do two different intros. Anyways, I am Tyler Wiemann, and we're going to be talking MLB DFS early slate today. But before we get into it, come join us at LineStar. It's the best deal in DFS. Come join us. We have the best mobile platform. You can look at all our stuff on iOS, on Android, and then as well on our website. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all one low price. So come join us. Ali, thank you for showing up. Love that you made it live once again. This is the general time that we usually do these lives, 10:15, 10:30 on the West Coast time. And yeah, it was a good day. Now, let's dig into it. So we're going to go over the early slate, and then I'm going to do the review from yesterday's slate. Then after that, we will get into the main slate today. Want to do this early slate before so I can, just cut it and repost for that main slate later today. So getting into the early slate, we'll start off with our high-owned pitching, and it is Freddie Peralta, 30% owned. And I think he's in a decent spot here. I actually do think he's going to end up going 40+% owned because it's just this, small slate. He's clearly the best pitcher on this slate. 3.63 FIP over his last 20, 2.808 over the last 5, 33% K rate over that span. Man has been dealing. He's in a good spot. Texas doesn't scare me. I'm fine having a decent amount of Freddie P. The whole reason I would not play him is just trying to get different. The game theory aspect. He's clearly in the best spot and the best pitcher on the slate. So I'm gonna get some, but there are reasons to fade, and that is really just game theory. Next, we got Mason Barnett, 6K. 4.63 is his FIP. He only has 9 innings in the MLB so far. If you want to go there, he's cheap. I get it, but I do like other pivots, and I'm probably actually going to play a lot of Boston stacks today. Next, we got Merrill Kelly, 8.5K, 28% owned. He's been solid, 3.8 FIP over the last 20, 4.03 over the last 5, 24% K rate over the last 20. And hard contact low, line drives, fine, but a lot of fly balls. All in all, I'm fine with Merrill Kelly. He is one of the better pitchers on this slate, but I still would prefer other pivots over him. The Brewers have been very good lately. Merrill Kelly can have some boom bust days. I don't love the spot for Merrill Kelly versus the Brewers. Now let's get to the pivot action. Eduardo Rodriguez. Look, he hasn't been great over the bigger body of work, but over the short term, 3.94 FIP, 16% K rate. The upside isn't huge with him, but he is super cheap. He's been consistent. He is in a tough spot, though, versus a Giants team that has been hitting well lately, has hit him decently in the past. I think he's an interesting pivot at only 7K. Next, we got Jose Soriano, 7.7K, 22% owned, 3.79 FIP over his last 20, 4.33 over his last 5. But over the last 5, the K rate has came up. And that K rate is, I think, what's important to watch with him. On his good stretch earlier this year, his K rate was super elevated like it is right now. He's been pitching well, and I'm definitely thinking about going with a lot of Soriano. Ali, Kelly and Peralta is fine. Both of them are good, in good spots. I think there's plenty of ways to get different with bats still. And there's enough value out there that I think that is fine. I personally am going to play a ton of Soriano. He's given up a lot of hard contact, but I think he is one of my he might be my favorite game theory play on the slate. The fact that he's coming in lower owned still gives you some upside. I definitely like him. I like Peralta also. So I think Soriano and Peralta is probably a lot of my volume there. Or I would throw in Taj Bradley. 7.5K. We know there's major upside when he gets it going. FIPS in the low 4. And yeah, AJ, if the control's there, he's in a good spot. Definitely agree there. But Taj Bradley, big time upside. The downside also very, very low, and he's in about as boom bust of a spot as you get. Angel's been striking out a ton lately, but super high ISO. They hit the ball hard. If he can miss some bats, there's big time upside in this spot. I like playing both Angels and Taj Bradley today. Obviously not in the same lineup, in separate lineups. But I think this is a very interesting spot where you can get different with either stacks and pitchers. So Taj Bradley is the last pivot of the day. Now getting over to FanDuel, Peralta is going to be super high owned, as he should be. He is definitely the best pitcher on paper for the day. But don't sleep on Soriano Bradley. Those would be my next two favorites. Bradley at 7.3K lets you pay up for a ton of bats if you want to go there. Now let's get over to the stack attacks for the early slate real quick. Boston, super, super high owned. I think they are in one of the better spots on the slate. I'm going to play a ton of him. Winds slightly blown out, mid 70-degree temps. Barnett hasn't been great, but bullpen behind him is poor. High projected, we got Arizona, the A's, and Minnesota popping up. Arizona versus Carson Seymour, 5.54 FIP over his last 5, 6.62 over the last 20. Don't love the Minnesota stacks, but hey, as AJ said, if Soriano doesn't have his control under him, then it can go badly quick, and there's bad bullpen behind him, so it does make some sense to try to pick on him as well. Peyton Tole is an interesting one. He has some K upside, hasn't been that great yet, but he's a young, very good prospect. He could get it together. With that being said, this is a spot where you can definitely play both sides. He's got lit up a little bit, and the A's bats are good. Also, should note that the Angels are the only one so far that has not got their lineup out. Really no idea what's going to go on with Joe Adele, as he's missed the last two with vertigo. So hopefully he can get back and healthy and playing again. Our high value stacks, we got Boston, we got Angels. Angels versus Taj Bradley is just such a great spot if they're able to get to him and he doesn't have his A stuff with him today. Our high ceiling plays, we got Giants versus Erod. Erod is about as boom bust it comes, and Giants make a lot of sense for a solid ceiling today. Our high leverage spots, we got Texas all over Freddie P. We see Freddie P have some blow up games from time to time. With only 4 games, having some Texas when Peralta is going to be super, super high owned makes some sense from a game theory aspect. And then if we click the teams tab here, we got Boston at 5.4, the A's at 5.1, Angels at 4.7, one of my favorite stacks there. And then Giants at 4.4, Minnesota 4.3, and then down the list, we got those leverage stacks way down there. Don't mind some Arizona. 4.1 is the, implied total, way lower, but I think there is some upside versus Seymour, who has a 6.62 FIP way down the list. So that'll do it for us for the early slate. Now we're going to get into the late slate a little bit. We'll do the reviews, do all of that kind of stuff. Just give me a second here. and throw this up while I get it ready. All right, guys, welcome. We are getting into the MLB DFS main slate for September 10th. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS, you get it all. If you guys are new to the show, we always start off with a review of yesterday, so we will do that, and then we will jump in to today's pitchers, the high-owned ones, some pivots, and then do the same for stacks. Now, looking at yesterday's slate, starting on the FanDuel perfect lineup, we had Emmett Shaheen. He put up 55. He went nuts. He was one of the pitchers we were definitely targeting. Two-man A stack, and then all one-offs. 32.5 was the perfect lineup score. 317.4 was the lineup score. 32.5 was the salary, I should say. And then the winning lineup went to Unknown Me B, who had Shaheen. They had a four-man Dodger stack, and then all one-offs. I was top five again. I placed fourth. I had Shaheen. Unfortunately, I had a 0 from Terang, but I had a four-man stack of the Dodgers, one off of Makata, and two-man of Cincinnati. I just nailed the 2 home runs for Cincinnati to pay off. Once again, another, top 5, top 10. Unfortunately, no takedown for me, but congrats to Unknown for getting it done. Now let's get over to the DK. Conley early, the prospect, got it done. 7.2 Ks. Went 33. Emmett Shaheen got it done. Two-man A's, two-man Dodgers, and some one-offs. The winning lineup went to Zeroth 2, who had Shaheen and Strider. They had a day. It's kind of interesting. Strider, I was on both sides of him yesterday, and he had a good day, but the Cubs stack still went off because they got to the bullpen a little bit. So kind of interesting play there. And then we had a 5-man Angel stack, 2-man Boston, one off of Bangaliers, who only got 6, but it was enough. He won by 1.45. So congrats to Zeroth. Dodger AJ, the homer, got second. Congrats to Dodger AJ there. Now let's dig into the pitchers to consider for today and start talking about the slate for today. So just get these over here. All right, starting on DraftKings, our high-owned pitcher. Also, it should be known, DraftKings has a 4:05 Pacific time start, whereas FanDuel is 3:35. FanDuel has 11 games. DraftKings has 7. Make sure you guys know we got an early start on FanDuel if you're playing over there. Okay, our high-owned on DraftKings, we got Carlos Rodon set 9.2K. He's in a decent spot. I don't mind some Rodon. He has a 4.5-star alert score. My worry for Rodon is the fact that he only has a 17% K rate over the last 5 starts. It's 23% over the last 20, but we've seen this lower K rate for a little while now. And while his StatCast data is great, Detroit has been raking versus lefties lately. Low K rate, super high WOBA, super high ISO, super high average. It's not a team I want to face with a lefty. I think there's plenty other spots to go today. I don't think you have to go to a high-owned Rodon. I certainly am probably not going to go to very much of him. Next, we got Nick Pivetta, 9K versus the Reds in San Diego, where he is much better. He's been pitching decently lately, and I'm fine going here. We got a mid-3s FIP, 26, 27% K rate. His StatCast data is always scary because he always gives up a lot of fly balls. The hard contact rate over the last couple weeks or last few starts has been lower than normal, though. All in all, I think it's a very interesting spot with Cincinnati striking out a ton recently. I'm going to have a lot of Pivetta at 27.4% combined K rate. I think he's in a very, very interesting spot. Next, we got Blake Snell, 9.5K, 25% owned. 2.42 FIP over his last 20, 2.76 over his last 5. Snell is dealing. He's in an excellent spot versus the Colorado Rockies. I'm going to get a ton of Snell. I almost made him the thumbnail because I think he is in a very, very good spot versus the Rockies that really don't scare me at all, and Snell has been very good. The issue with Snell is his control and his difficulty working deep into some of these games. K rate is there. It's just, can he get into the 6th inning or not, which is sometimes a tough task for him. Thank you for reposting the stream. Thank you for doing it yesterday also. I saw that, forgot to shout that out. Very much do appreciate that. EZM, unfortunately, Tyler Soderstrom is not in the lineup today. I think that came out just a little bit ago. So, yeah. Eric had a question. So, when looking at the charts, if they are red, that's not good, and green is good, and it goes both ways, doing overs and unders. Yes. So, if you're looking at a pitcher, the green is good. If you're looking at red is bad. If you're looking at a hitter, it's the same exact way on both sites, or on both ways. It's, just kind of reverse for what is good for that person, or that what you are looking at on that spot. Snell, great spot. Absolutely love it. Next, we got Logan Gilbert, 9,700. He is my second favorite pitcher of the day. I was on Kirby yesterday. Unfortunately, that didn't come through. But I'm going to go back to it. He's averaging 60% more fantasy points at home. There's big time upside, 3.21 FIP over his last 20, 34% K rate. Over the last 5, 3.84 and 30% K rate. Eric, thank you. Thank you for your support. It goes a long way. Please give us a review in the App Store. It helps our team so much. StatCast data for Gilbert's not great, but I'm going to have to say that I do like the spot. I'm really not worried about his StatCast data that much. 4 of his last 5 starts have been away. He's way better at home. I think he's going to correct a little bit. And the splits versus St. Louis just is not great. Combined K rate, almost 28%. It's a good spot. He's not that expensive. I'm going to have some Gilbert. Now let's get into some pivots. Chris Sale obviously is an extremely good pitcher, and he's been just raking lately, just throwing it. It's been great. 1.75 FIP over his last 5 with a 35% K rate. I'm here for more Sale. I not that scared of the Cubs, especially without Tucker. They haven't been hitting that great, and Sale is great. So I'm going to get tons of him. I would way prefer him over Rodon. The price difference with Pivetta and Sale, I mean, really the top 4 guys here in Pivetta, Snell, Gilbert, Sale, I'm going to use all of them a lot. I like them all. There's not necessarily one that is head and shoulders above the other. Flaherty is a nice leverage, or nice cheap option here at 7.5K with big time upside. 3.74 FIP over his last 20, 3.26 over the last 5. Solid numbers there. His K rate is down recently, but we do know he has that upside, so I'm fine going here a little bit. And the splits are in his favor. They are striking out at 26% over the last 20 games versus the righty, and he's had big time success versus them in the past with almost a 37% K rate. Jose Barrios, 7.2K is another pivot. I don't absolutely love this spot, but 7.2K for Barrios is just cheap when we have the upside we do. He can be a very good pitcher, and the Astros lately haven't been hitting that well, so I'm fine taking some chances if you want to pay down. Last but not least, Andrew Abbott at 8K. Guy's been dealing lately. 3.12 FIP over his last 5. 26% K rate. And I'm going against my Padres. Padres have been awful versus lefties lately and striking out a little bit more lately with a 20% K rate. And really, they've struggled to get the offense going in general. I think Andrew Abbott's in an interesting spot. I don't mind some. Getting over to FanDuel now. We do have 11 games over here, so it is a lot different. We got Paul Skeens, 27% owned versus the Orioles. Obviously, he is in a great spot. He is Paul Skeens. He is electric and one of the best pitchers in the game. 2.77 FIP and 29% K rate over the last 5, 2.2 and 30% over the last 20. And Orioles have been struggling a little bit. That K rate's high. There's big time upside. I'm fine going with some Skeens. Christopher Sanchez at 10.5K. I'm going to have a lot of 1.62 FIP over his last 5, 26% K rate. There is big time upside in this spot, but Mets have been raking lately versus lefties. That is the one scary aspect of it. All in all, I'm fine. Sanchez at 10.5K. He's been so good. You can add him to the list of pitchers in very good spots today. Logan Allen has been better at home, and 4.84 FIP over his last 20 isn't anything to write home about, but Royals been struggling versus lefties a bit. I'm fine going there. And I don't really think we need to get too wild with pivots on FanDuel today. I'm pretty much just going to be playing these guys, the top pitchers, because I just think it's going to be unlikely that Gilbert, Pivetta, Sanchez, Sale, Skeens, Snell all fail. And that's what you would probably need to happen for one of these other guys to become that pitcher you needed to have. And I just think that's very unlikely. These guys all have way too high of ceilings for me to fade all of them. Let's get over to the stacks now and see how that shakes out. So Dodgers, 105% ownership on DraftKings versus Freeland. Freeland actually was dealing last time out versus my Padres. Just totally shut them down. Again, a lefty goes to my Andrew Abbott for today. 4.19 FIP over his last 5, 4.87 over the last 20. He's way better away from Coors. He's in Dodger Stadium today. Don't love the spot for him, though, versus the Dodgers, who are extremely good. I'm going to have a lot of Dodgers, unfortunately. And even though I hope they lose because I'm a Homer Padre fan, I'm going to have a lot of them because I think the likelihood is they put up a big day. Highest projected, Yankees versus Flaherty. It's a boom bust spot. I'm fine getting some Yankees, even though I like Flaherty today. I think there's big time upside. The Rays versus Sean Burke is an interesting spot. I will have some there as well. Our high value plays, we got Colorado, we got White Sox. Colorado versus Snell. Look, Snell's super good, but he lets guys on base, and that can go badly easily for him. While I love Snell, he's one of my favorite pitchers. I don't mind some leverage in some Colorado bats either. Griffin Jacks is not going to go long into this game, and I don't mind some White Sox. Don't totally love them, but not my favorite. High ceiling, we got Yankees. High leverage, we got Yankees and Seattle. Seattle versus McGreevy. McGreevy, 4.94 FIP over his last 5. I am fine getting to some of them. Clicking the teams tab to see how it shakes out. Dodgers at 5.3. Toronto at 4.8. I very much like this spot for Toronto. I think it's an interesting one versus Jason Alexander, and they're probably going to go a bit overlooked. Atlanta versus Cubs. Not sure who's going out there for the Cubs yet, but we got a 4.5 implied total. Yankees at 4.4. I'm intrigued. Seattle at 4.4. Intrigued. Houston versus Berrios. I don't love the spot. Berrios is a solid pitcher, but Houston hasn't been hitting very well lately. Berrios can get lit up, though. Padres versus Abbott, don't love it. Rays versus Burke, fine getting some. And if we go down the board here, probably the only real pivot or low-owned one I would have is Colorado versus Snell. it's rare that Gilbert, Pivetta, Sale really get blown up. Cincinnati could do it, though. I don't mind a little Cincinnati, actually. Pivetta does allow some hard contact, fly balls, and home runs can happen. So Cincinnati, Colorado, if you go down the list. If you go up high, Dodgers, Toronto, Yankees are probably my favorites up there. Let's click let's go over to FanDuel, and I'll click the teams tab here just to give a better view of what's going on with all of the games. Miami at 4.6 versus Jake Irving is interesting. Philadelphia at 4.1. Don't mind a bit. They've been hitting recently. Yuri Perez has been good, but I don't mind some Washington. I think those bats are waking up. Well, that's going to do it for us today, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I see your talk about, or your question about Yelich fantasy score. What is his, what's the score for Yelich? What's the line? If you're still there, that is. So we have him at 12.39 on FanDuel, which is similar to Underdog. Dude rakes versus righties, struggling a little bit lately. Very good team, decent hitting environment. Has struggled versus Kelly, though. I don't love the spot for him. Don't hate it. Don't love it. It's a tough one. It really depends on what that line is. If it's 9, probably over it. If it's 7, I don't mind some. All right, guys, that'll do it for us today. Hope you guys have a good one. We'll be back in a little bit with the prop picks, probably about 45 minutes or so. You all have a good one. Peace.